Hi, Robin, are you the host tonight?
I may be. I'm not yet, though.
Okay,
You will be in moments.
Okay.
okay. Carolyn, are you a co-host with her?
I'm not really going to be, just because I need to run the meeting.
Right.
So.
Okay.
All
Can't do
right.
both at
Nope.
once.
Go. Say that again, Louise.
Can't do both jobs at once.
Yeah, especially not if I don't have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Holly, can you put a Post-it over the blinking light on whatever it is behind you or something?
Well, it looks like we have a quorum anyway.
We do. I sent Walter the link again this afternoon. So hopefully,
I can give him a call to remind him.
I'm sure he'll remember.
Who are you kidding, Carolyn?
Easy. Oh, there he is. All right, Robin, I'm gonna let you, I'm gonna not,
Okay.
gonna try it. That's gonna be old habit for me. So if I
Yep.
get pushy about it or jump over you, just remind me who's the host. Because I do it for all of the boards that I'm on.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. All right. So hopefully the set of plans that I got for our second meeting, I got to Louise and to Robin, but I didn't get to Holly and Walter. I just how it happened this time. But when I get enough plans, Holly, I will try to distribute them so that everybody has some time to look at them, so they're not just digital.
Now, plans to what, Carolyn?
Plans for Duncan's subdivision. There's a
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you're
catch-
talking about.
yeah,
Yep.
there's a catch basin.
Yep.
And if it was, something that was bigger, I would have made sure everybody got the plans, but
So
Oh,
I
right.
couldn't hear you. I had it my computer. I couldn't hear you before, so I cut
Oh.
the tail end. So it's okay. I get it. It's what they're trying to do, because my understanding is there's a holdup on it, right, or something. Anyway.
I'm not aware of that. We may find out about that. They're just here for us for a catch basin.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, since we're all here, I'm going to open the meeting. I have revised the speech a little bit. Oh, for heaven's sakes, what is going on here? Hold on. Because for some reason, isn't that just how it goes, huh? All right, let's try this a different way. Oh, of course. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Hold on. Sorry, everybody. why this is doing this. Google is asking me to sign in and I don't have. I don't know what my sign in is. It does it automatically when I turn the computer on. This is ridiculous.
We should add an outdoor meeting with a can off.
I know, right? Oh, I remembered it. That was amazing. Okay. All right, now I'm ready to open the meeting. All right. Welcome to the August 18th meeting of the Berlin Conservation Commission in accordance with Governor Baker's March 2020 order superseding certain provisions of the open meeting law due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. This meeting will be held remotely via the Zoom platform. All participants should please be aware that anything you say, share, or show on camera during this meeting will be recorded and uploaded to the Town of Berlin YouTube channel, where it will live forever. This virtual location was listed on the agenda along with all necessary links for public attendance on My Town Government. Audience members who wish to participate should use Zoom's raise hand function, and you will be called upon by the chair when appropriate. When recognized by the chair, callers should clearly state their name and address before asking a question or making a comment. Please remember to mute your microphone when not speaking and speak clearly to ensure accurate minutes are recorded. Each vote taken during this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. We'll start with a practice. I will now confirm that all members of the Conservation Commission are present and can hear me before opening the meeting. Louise Jonda.
Here,
Robin Berry.
Here.
Holly Kennedy.
Here.
Holly Kennedy Di Gratola, right?
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And-
Holly Kennedy's fine.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's just because it's what it says right there. And Walter Bickford.
Here,
I open the meeting at 7:07. All right, we have a fairly, not a heavy agenda, but we have a lot of work to do. Our first hearing is at 7:15. It looks like, so Robin, you see the Town of Berlin Zoom channel? All right, so it's
Yeah.
assuming that's Margaret.
Okay.
So we have a few more minutes before that meeting opens. Do we want to, did everybody read the minutes from the last meeting?
yes,
Do we
I
have
did.
a motion to accept? Oh,
So moved.
second,
all those in favor of accepting the minutes from the July, what was it? July 7th?
7th.
July 7th meeting. Roll call vote. Louise,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Holly,
Um,
Walter.
aye,
All right. Excellent. Let's see what else. What else can we get through? Oh, Robin, do you have a treasurer's report?
No, I'm actually behind the ball. I forgot to do these things that you gave me the other day. So I'll work on them
Okay.
if I can during this. I'll see if I can get it to, it's only a couple things. So I'll see if I can get it to line up.
Okay. Excellent, moving on. All right, try to get through this in 5 minutes. DEP sent, oh, actually, I sent everybody the email. The email asking about cutting down some dead trees at the corner of Marlborough Road and River Road. It was a while ago at this point. There are 4 dead trees.
It was being done today. The police had the road blocked off, so it must be done by now.
Excellent. They said they were going to wait until we made a decision. So, well, anyway, do we want to take a vote anyway?
I guess it doesn't really matter, huh?
I'd move, I'd skip it.
All right. Excellent. And what else do we have here? Okay. We're going to skip down to the first item on new business because that should also be quick. I was going to be out of town September 1st, but the trade show that I was going to has been canceled. But I just want to make sure that we're going to have a quorum for September 1st. Robin, you had said you weren't sure.
Yeah, no, I won't be here.
Okay.
I'm gonna be traveling.
Is everybody else able to make September 1st?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. And it's kind of all I have. We still have 4 minutes. Anybody else have anything quick?
I don't see it on here, but I forwarded you all an email that I received from the forester on forest stewardship plans that for both public lands and private lands, whoever's interested. And I think later in the fall, hopefully we get over this COVID thing and we can have an open meeting and have them come in and just listen to a couple of people, our local state forester, plus some people from UMass about managing land for wildlife and timber. And so something to listen to. I think it'd be very interesting. Enough so that probably we might want to invite our budding conservation commissions to it. But we'll see how that goes. Then it'll be in October anyway, before we hear from them.
Excellent. Yeah, I didn't put it on the agenda just because you had said, at some point in the future, so I wasn't.
Pretty preliminary, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. But when we get closer, I think that would be helpful. We did that several years, many years ago at this point. Probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, we had someone come in and talk to us. And it was very interesting. All right. Well, we have 2 more minutes till we can open the meeting. Do we want to promote Margaret at least and
Yes.
get
Sure.
set up?
Sure. Do we need anybody else other than Margaret?
Once she's on, she can let us know, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, the other night I took a little ride and 3 o'clock I couldn't sleep. So I brought my 20,000, whatever it is, candle power flashlight, went out around, counted 11 deer, 5 bucks. One of them was huge. They're all sizable bucks. We've got quite a deer herd around town. Just in case you want to go hunting, I just thought I'd let you know.
Well, I appreciate that. I do know that they don't appear to be in my yard this year because my tiger lilies actually bloomed for the first time in about 8 years.
Oh, is that right? Well, you're in a good spot for them, actually.
Yeah. Yep. My Rose of Sharon usually has a ring from where
Yeah.
they can reach down that has no
Yeah.
blooms on it.
But it doesn't
We always
seem to
know
be
it. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go
I was
ahead,
just gonna say,
Hal.
it doesn't. I was just gonna say, it doesn't seem to be letting me promote Margaret as a panelist.
All right. Oop. Holly's gone. I made you a co-host. Let me see if I made you host.
It shouldn't matter. I mean, I don't know if it's
Yeah,
just because she's on the town page.
No, I don't know.
I wonder if I can let her allow. Try
Oh.
and allow her to talk. I
Oh,
can,
it seems like,
Hi,
yeah.
Oh, shh.
I
there
can
she
at
is.
least talk. I can at least talk, I think, right?
Yep,
yeah, yep.
yep. And Robin, if Louise is back, if you can
Oh
promote
yeah.
her as well. Hi, Margaret. Well, that all took the last 2 minutes that we had needed to wait.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Just fine, thank you. How's everybody doing tonight?
Excellent.
Good.
It's a little weird doing this on Zoom. I'm used to attending, not running the meeting. Okay, so Margaret, do you want to give the kind of history and the lead up, or do you want me to?
You could fill folks in if you'd like.
Okay, so as most of you probably know, the parking lot at the town offices is being repaved, and there are wetlands in back and to one side of the building. There's really only one small area that the wetlands come close to the parking lot. And after some discussion, they already had the contractor scheduled before we talked about a filing. So we're gonna, if everybody agrees, I think we can do this with an RDA because it is a small scale amount of, it's a small amount of land near the wetlands, and it's not actually even land, it's pavement. It's already disturbed, and they've actually already put the silt fencing up. So I think an RDA should be able to cover it easily. So Margaret has submitted an RDA to us for this project. Is that about right?
I just want to say thank you to Walter for coming to the pre-construction site visit on short notice, and for helping guide this process. I was able to get the hearing notice posted in the newspaper in a timely manner, and also thanks to Carolyn for helping to facilitate this. I was really unsure of how to proceed, and I actually started filling out the actual determination of applicability for the Conservation Commission by accident. So
that's all filled out. Yeah, so I'm glad we got that straightened out ahead of time as well.
Yep.
So I am going to screen share and just show the plan that was submitted. Thank. So Pat Garner had done this for us as a courtesy sometime like in the spring, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can see this area right here is the only place that's even really close. And this is the edge of the BVW. But the stream is actually considerable distance away. And then this is, you can see so this is the original set of plans for when the building was turned. Correct me if I'm wrong, Margaret, it's from when it went from being the Berlin Memorial School to the town offices.
That is correct. This plan is is dated March of 1999.
So normally a plan is only good for 3 years. But where the delineation that Pat did for us pretty much follows exactly what's on this plan, I'm comfortable accepting this plan. Especially because Pat did do it recently. So does anybody have anything? Any of the conservation members have any comments?
Well, I know the area very well, and again, the work, like you pointed out, Carolyn, it's been extremely altered. It's paved. It has zero ecological value to it, and there's nothing else that's going to be disturbed. Just that place resurfaced, and it has to be done. We're not getting any closer to the wetland than the existing pavement, so I think that this would work fine.
I agree. All right, well, if nobody has any other comments, I'll take a motion to. All right, now Margaret, this is going to be confusing. We are going to find a negative determination, because what that means is we've determined that there is not, that the wetlands bylaw, that the Wetlands Protection Act does not apply in this case.
Understood.
Right, so that's why it's a negative determination.
So move.
Second,
All those in favor by roll call, Robin,
Aye.
Holly,
Aye.
Louise,
aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Carolyn, aye.
Thank you all very much.
You're very
project-
welcome.
The project that, again, they did put up, am I here still?
Yep.
Oh, okay. They did put up 600 feet of the silt fencing and wattle. The project is going to begin on Monday morning and is expected to take a week. So there'll be, I think there's going to be a notice that's going to be going out to residents on the work. But as Walter said, the contractor is required to work in the existing paved footprint of the lot. So I appreciate your consideration. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Okay. All right. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. First one down, our next one is at 7:30. And that is also a posted hearing. So we have to wait until 7:30. See if we can get through any of the other agenda items. So Pat Garner is working with the owner of 28 Allen Road on the enforcement order. And now that I know we'll have a meeting on September 1st, they will present an NOI at that meeting. I know that there's at least one person here that wants to talk about Highland Ridge, so I think we're gonna skip over that for now. And then our other standing enforcement orders, there's been no progress on 100 River Road. No, well, 64 Banner Road, we're waiting for the vegetation to take hold. We should actually probably go out and check that shortly, anytime now. And 36 Dudley Road, no progress, no news at all.
I would just add that items 3 and 5 there, Carolyn, without a wetlands bylaw, our hands are tied, and those are serious violations. Those are pretty flagrant, but there's nothing we can do about it. They're small enough so the DEP isn't going to put a lot of effort into it. Anyway, and we can't do anything about it.
True.
Let me ask you this. Would you want me to call DEP and run it by them and see if they would, particularly the 100 River Road one, you know, and Dudley Road, they could do both of them.
Right, they already came out to look at 100 River Road.
Oh, they did come out. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Okay, your memory.
And they were in agreement that it was bad and told us good luck.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah. All right. We still have 5 more minutes. So does everybody else get the emails from MACC specifically about the fall conference?
Yes.
Yes.
So I mostly Robin and Holly, if you guys were interested, they are going to do, so there's classes that you can take on the fundamentals of the Wetlands Protection Act, and they're being offered virtually at the fall conference, and they're well worth taking. They're very informative, and especially if you can do it from home. You used to have to drive all over the state because they would have different segments of it available in different parts of the state.
Schedule in front of you, Carolyn? I know I looked at that, but I don't remember. I thought there was a. All right, I'll go through my email.
Yeah,
had a
and I
conflict
can
whenever it
find
was.
it and forward the email. Also, the dates are October 19th, 20th, 21st, and 23rd.
Okay, Cass, I have to join that. I haven't joined that yet. So, right? Isn't that something?
Is that true? Were you on? If you're not a member already, you get free membership for being a Conservation Commission member.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's free. I haven't, but I know I'm supposed to do that. I just haven't done it yet.
Okay. Yeah. So that gives you definitely access to all of these classes. The classes are $55 each, and I know I personally would support reimbursing you guys because I really feel like they're worth taking. So
no, I'd love to do that. Okay, so
okay, that would be great.
Madam Chairman, I would add to that and just say that what you say is true, but you can't overstate how valuable that 3-ring binder is. The what do you call it? The binder for the Conservation Commission that has everything in it. It's really easy reading, lays things out, and if you're not getting that, you probably should. I have the one. I took it out of the town hall the other day. The one's about 10 years old now, and I have it all underlined and marked up from when I looked at it through the years. But there's some excellent stuff in there, all about wetlands and whatever you want to know.
Yeah, that's the handbook, right?
Right, the handbook.
Yeah, the MACC handbook, and that is available digitally now as well.
Which reminds me, I got to get reimbursed for buying. It was $15 to get it online.
Didn't we reimburse you for that already?
Nope.
You sure?
I think so.
All right, well, I think we can probably take care of that. All right, 2 more minutes, but we can promote Seth. Oh, we're down to a minute now.
Anyone else need to get promoted?
All right.
Good.
Well, say something again. I think you cut out.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Yep,
I will wait till 7:30 to introduce myself.
yep. 30 more seconds, give or take.
I will,
And do you have everything, the plans and everything ready to share?
I do if you'd like to do it that way.
Okay, yeah, it's easier if you drive. All right, I have 7:30.
So do I.
If you're ready, then I'm happy to start running, or I don't know if you need to read the official posting for the hearing or anything.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty at this. So this is for 120 to 128 Highland Street, correct?
That is what I'm here for.
Yep. And it is for a stormwater catch basin?
Infiltration basin.
All right. Take it away.
Great. So for the record, my name is Seth Donahoe. I'm with Billis and Roy Civil Design Group. I'm here on of the property owner and applicant Duncan Baum. Mr. Baum lives at 120 to 128 Highland Street. And there's an existing dwelling there. He desired to provide for the opportunity for his family to build an additional dwelling or two on the remainder of his land, which is approximately 60 acres. So we went through the approval process with the planning board to get a new road designed and approved. And that was due to the limited frontage at the property. So out of the 60 acres, it's a fairly limited development that's being proposed. And the only portion that is within the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission and the Wetlands Protection Act is related to the outfall portion of a stormwater management basin. So the stormwater from the road will be collected via catch basins, treated and infiltrated within this basin, which is an existing low spot at the site. And under emergency circumstances, there is a designed overflow point in it as well. And if you'd like, I can share a plan giving you an overview of it.
That would be great.
So hopefully you can see my screen.
Yep.
Great. So I will zoom in on an overall locus here. This is the existing dwelling at 128 Highland Street. There's some assorted out structures in a pool. The developed portion of the lot is here. There is an existing farm road or cart road that accesses much of the remaining upland portion of the site. And we're proposing to improve a roadway within that area. And the stormwater will be collected via catch basins and drains and discharged to a stormwater basin. And that's within an existing, basically a valley on the site and a low point. There is a bordering vegetated wetland to the northeast of this area, and water is generally flowing to the northeast on this site. This screen is a blow up of the area of the proposed work with the dashed orange line representing the 100-foot buffer zone, the light green representing the proposed berm that is to be constructed within the buffer zone, and that's to retain the treated stormwater. And then there's an outlet structure on this side of the berm with silt fence below it. Dark green being the extension bordering vegetated wetland on this. So it's a rather limited area of alteration within the 100-foot buffer zone. And again, it's only to discharge treated stormwater. The project was peer reviewed as part of the planning board approval process. And the stormwater calculations were reviewed and approved as part of that as well. So if the commission has any questions for me, I'd be happy to address them.
I'm already familiar with these plans. So I found them to be good. So one question I do have, the road fill is being brought in to build up the road, correct?
The road will result in a net fill. There is some fill that will be produced on site, but some will have to be brought in for that.
Yeah, it wasn't the importation more as much as the building up of the circle and the loose soil on the catch basin side. How will that be stabilized?
So there's actually a second sheet to this, and there it is. Sorry, I zoomed too quick on you. There is a full specification of erosion control notes for during construction. Prior to the installation of the actual catch basins, there'll be temporary measures, whether they're silt sacks, sandbags, anything to help prevent the concentration of runoff. And then once the catch basins are in, the silt sacks will be installed within those, and those will prevent anything being sediment-laden water being conveyed to the stormwater management area. The road itself, that is installed in compacted lifts, so they can only bring in a certain amount of material at a time, and then it needs to be compacted before any more comes in. So it would be feasible that it's only constructed in set lengths at a time as well. They wouldn't stockpile a massive amount of material on site and then spread it over a long period of time. As this stuff comes in, it's put in place, compacted, and then they ready it for the next load as well.
Right, but what's being done to stabilize the sides? I assume they're going to be grassed eventually.
They would, so that's the intent of it. It's grass now, and it would remain grass in the future.
Okay. So any loose soils that are there will be compacted. It's going to be seeded right away. I can't imagine it's going to be seeded right away.
Well, if it's going to be exposed for, say, longer than 2 or 3 weeks, then it would be hydroseeded. This portion of the project is outside the scope of the notice of intent, but it is inside the scope of what would be the EPA's construction general permit. And in doing that, they require that a stormwater pollution prevention plan is in place ahead of construction, a minimum of 2 weeks ahead. And there's also a long-term pollution prevention plan that goes along with that. And the language within that actual report requires that if it is not permanently stabilized within 2 to 3 weeks, that area would be hydroseeded to be temporarily stabilized.
Okay. That was really my only questions. Anybody else have any questions?
Seth, you said, did I hear you say there were going to be 2 houses in there minimum?
There's the existing house and then 2 additional houses.
2 additional houses, okay. It just seems like quite an extravagant road for when a common drive, unless it needs the frontage.
It does need the frontage.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
Yes, no, it would have been nice to be able to do it with a common driveway, but
yeah,
seeking a waiver for not having sufficient frontage would not fly, in my opinion.
I don't think it would either. But
All right. Anybody else? All right, I will accept a motion to accept the notice of intent.
so move.
ladies. Can I have a second?
Oh, second,
All those in favor, Holly?
Aye.
Louise,
aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Carolyn, aye. All right,
Thank you very much, and hopefully I'll be seeing you soon.
all right, thanks. All right, we're just cruising.
You know, just as a comment, not relative to us, it's really planning board, but there's a situation where, you know, I would waive that road for a common drive on, given the special circumstances, particularly if he was going to limit it to 2 houses. But then you have to, that's perfectly all right in that incident, but who else could take advantage of it and do something worse? You know, that's the only thing. You set a precedent and for a good cause, and then it can be abused.
Sure, and that wasn't the presentation that was given to the planning board. So, you know, like it wasn't posed as a possibility. So, as you know, with us here, we can only deal with what comes before us. All right. Have 20 more minutes till our next appointment. We are cruising right along. Let's see. Well, I guess we can move on to electing a chair.
Not it.
I move to nominate Carolyn for the chair.
I second.
Speech.
I don't, I think she should say no.
Yeah, but Robin, then that rolls it right down your way.
Yeah, no. I nominate Walter.
I'll do it. So I guess we should vote on that.
So was I nominated or not? There was no second.
Do you want to be nominated?
No.
Yeah.
I thought I heard that though.
Okay.
You did.
Seconded on my nomination.
Holly seconded.
Okay.
I guess we should vote. Robin. Walter,
Aye.
Louise,
Aye.
Holly.
Aye.
And I'm gonna abstain. Now we need an earthworks representative. And Holly, I heard that you volunteered, is that correct?
I did.
I nominate Holly to be the earthworks representative.
I'll second.
The what representative?
The earthworks
Oh,
committee.
earthworks. Yeah, I couldn't.
Yes.
Yep.
We've already done this one.
Well, this wasn't, we didn't officially pick one person.
Right.
We've
We never,
been, right, we've been talking
Okay.
about it, and we were
Gotcha.
gonna try to do a floating thing, but then Holly volunteered to be the person. Thank you very much for volunteering, Holly. And just to make it official, I don't know that we actually need to vote, but just to make it official, Robin.
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Louise,
aye.
Carolyn, I, and Holly.
Abstain, I guess. I don't know.
All right, excellent.
Okay, did somebody second that?
Did maybe?
Yeah, I think it was
I think it
Robin.
was me.
Yeah, I thought so.
Old business, the conservation agent position for 8 hours a week has been approved by the select board, approved, the job description has been approved by the personnel committee, and the job has been posted. So hopefully we will be able to find somebody so that I don't burn out again. So I will keep you posted as I hear things about that. The only news I have on the Linden Street parking lot is that the expanded area has been marked. But trying to remember exactly. I know that the poles that were used were donated and there are no more. So I think they're actually trying to source some more, or I'm not entirely sure. I guess it's not done, but it's in progress. Is the most recent news I know about that. Louise?
I just want to report that the highway department is willing to do the work again.
Yep.
They're short-staffed right now. So
Yes. Yep. So
No rush on
Yeah.
it.
yep, that's in the works. Also, I think there's still some debate about whether there's going to be one entrance and it's just going to be moved, or if there are actually going to be two entrances. I don't think that has been fully decided yet either. And we're kind of really leaving that up to Chief Galvin, I believe. So, like I said, it's moving forward. Do want to talk about, so the last new business item is, do we want to submit a pre-application in anticipation of a special town meeting this fall to try to secure some CPA funds for open space?
Absolutely. I think I'm really concerned about this Laura piece. I mean, we got to get on the ball. I don't know what's going on there. But we don't want to lose that 100 acres.
I agree.
We want to
That's-
move ahead.
Yep, I agree. That's why, so I was I guess I was thinking if we put in, if we submit an application, if we don't have a special town meeting this fall, it'll just roll over to the annual town meeting. But if there is a special town meeting, I think we should try to secure some funds towards that, so, and do it kind of incrementally, do some in the fall and some in the spring, instead of trying to go for one big one.
Why is that?
Uh,
I mean, I think, to me, we want to get a hold of that. Krista was going to talk to them again. If they're ready to go, I mean, we
Now,
should,
or should we save this for an executive session?
yeah.
well,
good
that's why
idea.
I'm not really talking about dollars.
Good idea.
Just-
Okay.
Okay,
Well, everybody knows we're going to buy it, but so without talking about the dollars, my feeling is that it'd be worth holding a special town meeting just for that one issue. That's how important that is to what we're doing. So I say, put the application in for everything we can get for this. We lose this, it's not.
right. Well,
replaceable.
that is part of the reason to do it incrementally, is there's a certain amount of money now, and there will be more money after, that will come in after a special town meeting.
Okay, but we put in for as much as we can then right now. Okay.
So that was the reasoning behind doing it incrementally.
Yep.
Geez. We're doing great. Louise?
Yeah, since we're talking about new business, is there time to discuss the proposal that I mentioned to you about?
I think so.
Okay, so I've been noticing that there's a lot of houses being sold in Berlin. And I happened to look on the houses for sale in Berlin. There's about 31 houses for sale right
Oh.
now. There are 3 fairly large properties for sale. And I'm thinking that it had been mentioned in the past about giving new owners a copy of the bylaws or for the wetlands bylaws. And I'd be willing to take that on. And I know that at one point, Margaret had also mentioned having a whole packet for newcomers to the town, from the different boards. So I'd be willing to work on putting something like that together. I think it's important because I know a couple of there's one property that has an NOI on it because there are wetlands there. But a condition of COC has been granted for that property. So it should be in the deed, but I think it'd be a good idea to let the people know that, yes, there is a wetlands there.
Right. So when you and I talked about it the other day, we have some pamphlets in the closet that we had printed some years ago. And it's just kind of informative about what the laws are surrounding wetlands.
Mhm.
And it's informational. I mean, I truly believe that if people have the information, they'll do the right thing. It's
Right.
just that most people aren't really aware.
Right. I think I can think of 3 issues that we've had where, newcomers to town have bought properties, existing houses and started filling in the wetlands.
Right.
And because they
Because
did
they
not
didn't-
realize, right.
Exactly. So I would definitely be supportive of sending something informational just so that people know.
Okay, so I can look into it. Maybe talk to Margaret, talk to the assessors too about how to go about, doing this and report back.
Robin or Holly, anything?
No, I think that's a great idea. I do feel that unfortunately, a lot of the realtors they just want to make a sale and they kind of fluff out. Even when we bought our property, I knew the existing wetlands. I mean, I knew about them, but they were just like, oh yeah, you can do this and that. But I went to the town first before I even bought it to say, hey, is that true? And they're like, well, not really. So
Right.
unfortunately, realtors just want to make the sale, and they allude to the fact that people can do things that they want to do here in town because it's a right to farm and you can do those things. So yeah, and I've seen some discussions with people who buy a few acres and they just assume, oh, they have some animals on it so that they can do whatever they want. And
Right.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just good that they know. I think it's looking at the fact that it's just educate them as to what it is.
Exactly.
And that's all it is. It's just education.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I feel that's important. So sure, I think it's a great idea.
Robin?
I think it's a great idea.
Awesome.
Okay, are either of you interested in working on this again? Also?
Sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
Also,
So
oh, God. No,
No.
I think And when I moved to Arlington, I'll make it short. One woman came to me when I bought my house, and she said, "Hey, welcome to Arlington, and here's a brochure of all this stuff about Arlington." And it really was great. And I feel like Berlin should do the same. But at the time when I moved here, there weren't many people moving into town. But now it's crazy, especially with the apartments and stuff going in. That's something that educates people. Are even using our Berlin page on Facebook is really great. But just to disseminate this information and kind of add this stuff into it about our community and what makes us so special, this kind of goes right with it. So I think it's like could be bigger than just this piece. What I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that Louise said that Margaret is thinking about something like that also.
Yeah. So I'd love to be involved in that because
Right, yeah.
I mean,
All
I
right,
have
so-
some idea too. So yeah.
We could ask to meet with Margaret
Yeah.
on
that'd be
this,
cool.
you know?
That would be wonderful.
Okay, all right. Holly, I'll talk to you about getting together with Margaret.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, we still have 6 more minutes and we're kind of done with the agenda.
Mhm.
Oh, did you want me to talk about Highland Ridge or no?
I'd like to save that for after our appointment because I think that's going to be the longest discussion.
Oh, okay.
So I'd like to just not have to interrupt that.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything?
Oh, I have one more, just for information. We're meeting with 18 Pollard Road. The zoning board did accept the request for an in-law apartment, which is good for 5 years. They have to renew and, you know, show proof that it isn't a relative using the apartment in 5 years.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent. Yep, and that is our next appointment, is to finish that hearing. Walter, do you want to talk a little bit more about the forestry stuff?
Did you, when I send it to the Conservation Commission, does everybody get it or just you?
Just me, well, just whoever monitors the conservation email.
Because did you get it, for example, Louise, something on forest stewardship program that I sent around?
I
last
do
week?
believe, yes, I did, but you know what? It's one of the things I haven't had a chance to look at.
Oh, so you
Yeah, I
deleted
thought
it.
somebody forwarded that from the main account.
Okay,
Right, I think I forwarded it when
Yeah, I
you
think you
sent it,
did.
yeah.
well, it's there are all kinds of grants programs, like most of them are 3/4, 1/4, 3/4 grant type things. And they can do everything from one extreme, just manage for timber products, and the other extreme managing for endangered species. But a lot of them is a mixture. So you can improve the forest, you can harvest timber and get some return out of it, number one, while at the same time improving the wildlife habitat. There's not enough sun hitting the ground is one of the problems. And so anyway, it's the different grant programs and experts coming in, and I would, we take them to look at some land and see what we could do to manage it. We've got a couple of big pieces, the whole Mount Pisgah complex. We did a part over there on the Clark property several years ago, which turned out good. There's great timber growing in there now, and there's great wildlife habitat, a lot of brush and undergrowth, which is important to wildlife. So we should look at some of our other properties. There isn't much more to say than that, and
Well, you filled up most of the time we needed to fill, and I agree.
oh, good.
So I think it's a good thing. All right, well, so Robin, will you promote Robert Parente and Neil Facile?
Sure. Okay.
Right.
Hello, this is Bob Parenti. Can everybody hear me?
Hi, Bob. Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome.
Uh,
Is Neil available? I think it's.
Neil is here as well. Yep.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, good
Yep.
evening.
Well, I can't hear you very well, Neil. You,
Hold on, my son will help me out here. Put the volume up, yeah. Can you hear me?
yeah, I think your internet's a little shaky. We'll give it
Yeah,
a go.
You may want to try and turn off your video and just use your audio. That might help.
Yeah,
See.
can you hear me?
It's definitely better.
Okay, all right.
All right,
Well, I'll see you
excellent.
guys, so, yeah, it's all good.
All right.
Okay.
Well, first, I'd like to thank both of you for your patience. January was a little, January. July was a little bit shaky for us for various different reasons, and I appreciate your patience and working with us,
Okay.
getting to this point.
Okay, no problem. And actually, I think on Neil's behalf, I think it worked out okay for him because he was able to get the foundation and he had a building permit. And he was actually able to see where the walls in the backyard, where the walkout walls could be. And it actually helped, I think, helped our proposed grading a little bit. So somehow the delay may have, I think it's going to help this backyard for what it's going to look like.
Excellent.
Yep. So the new plan reduces let's see if I can read my plan. Reduces the limit of the proposed regrading, or the clearing in the 100 to 200 foot zone to 1,700 square feet, where the first proposal back, I think we started in June, the first proposal was around 4,500, 4,900 square feet, just below the 5,000 square foot threshold.
Right. So it's been reduced by more than half.
Correct.
That's wonderful. So
And
the plan that you had sent me recently, is that the most current one?
Yeah, so that July 21st plan, that is the current plan.
All right, let me see. I have it here. I'm gonna pull it up
Oh, okay,
and
excellent.
screen share so everyone can see. All right. Oops, that's a little small.
It's not too bad. That's not too bad like that. Yep.
Yeah, I can see it.
So now that the foundation is there, I actually put dimensions off the foundation to where this proposed additional clearing would be. So there's 40 feet on the side that is closest to West Street. And Neil and I measured it and it all works out pretty good. There's no big trees right on the line. The 40, yep. And then on the other end where the in-law, I think that's the end where the in-law is, near where the 25-foot dimension is.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
Yep,
And
yep.
that actually area only goes a little bit into the inner riparian zone, that 100 to 200, that only goes about 10 feet in, where before it went a lot more, like 50 feet in, I think it would probably be my scale dimension.
Right.
Yeah, 55 feet. So that's really the area where we pulled the limit of clearing back. And so we have a bottom of a basement floor elevation at 313.5. And Neil actually, I think he created a walkout basement in that whole area. So we didn't really need to bring in fill the way I was picturing originally back in June. And that's where I think we helped this whole process out, or the delay helped us out. So if the commission were agreeable to this, amount of work, I think the customer would be happy. And there was a couple trees that were kind of leaning towards the house, not maybe one or two. So I was a little nervous about how close the foundation was, but this would make me a lot more comfortable for the future customers when they, eventually move in.
I know that I'm much more comfortable with this and would be willing to support this.
How does everyone else feel? I'm not sure if Robin was there last time. Maybe she was.
I don't think so. This doesn't look familiar to me, so I don't remember
Okay.
what it was before.
Okay. It was a larger proposed area of regrading in the 100 to 200 foot zone.
Okay.
Pretty much, 4,900, 3,400. Yeah.
Right. But you can
This
see
is like a
right,
third. This is pretty much a third of what we had originally proposed.
right.
Okay.
So you can see this line right here is the outer edge of the 200 foot from Northbrook.
Okay.
And so it would just be this right in here. And you're reducing the slope as well. Is that true?
That's correct, because we did because Neil did the walkout basement. He put a frost wall in the back for the foundation itself. And he didn't, I think I had a 318. So with the 314 with a dark line, the 314
Yeah,
contour
right
in the
there.
back of the house, I think I had, I think I was like 318 before, 318 grading down to 316 to 314. That whole backyard grading changed once we dug the foundation and said, hey, it's gonna look a lot better if you do a walkout basement, a walkout wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you really can't see it when you're looking at these contour lines, but you see it a lot better once you strip out the topsoil and the subsoil.
Right,
Sure.
we would have had a slope of like 3.5 feet from the back wall of the house out to the line there. But now it's not like that.
Right. Which is much more agreeable to us as far as erosion and all of that. Anybody else have anything, any comments before I call
That
for
was
a vote?
slope ladder, yeah. Lot more.
Anybody?
Carolyn?
Yeah,
Yes, I'd like to ask a question, just to clarify. So the old plans would have extended the lawn 30 feet into the buffer zone, right?
I think it was closer to 50, wasn't it?
Yeah, so on the southerly portion of the house, which is the part closest to the old railroad bed.
Right here.
Yep, the regrading was about 55 feet. Now it's 40. Oh, so when you say, into the 200 foot zone, it was about 38 feet. And now
Yeah, just over 40. Yep.
and now into the 200 foot zone, we got about 26 feet. But as you go north towards the top of the triangle, I mean, we're just a little bit, we're right in the edge of the 200 foot. So
Right.
we're almost within our matter of right there. So the
Right,
major,
this little triangle.
yep,
kind
that
of.
little triangle is additional regrading that we're requesting. And the nice thing is, it's now that the foundation's there, we get a nice dimension that we can hold to and an easy checkpoint.
Right. And so just to clarify, this line right here is the limit of work.
Correct.
And does it say that? Oh, yeah, limit of proposed regrading. Yep. Okay.
Mhm. Okay, and the end of the lawn would be marked with a wall or some kind, or,
Right. So there is a stone wall indicated right here.
and that would be the edge of the lawn.
That would be the edge of the new lawn, correct?
Okay,
Yep. And then over here, it's kind of the top of the slope, right?
Yes.
Is the edge of the lawn.
Well, so the land goes back up and then we're basically tying back into the existing grades over there. So when you come up out of the railroad bed, you back up to the 312 contour. So that would just be blending in a new lawn to the existing grade.
Oh, that's right. This is kind of a
A
tunnel.
ravine, that's kind of, picture
yeah,
a
yeah.
ravine, yeah, ravine, walking through a little ravine, yep.
Yeah. So this creates a natural buffer right here.
Yep.
We've got the stone wall here. So I think this is much more agreeable.
Okay, well, that's what we were hoping for.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you providing what we asked for.
All right, we aim to please.
Yeah. And we aim to work with you.
Okay, excellent.
All right, well, do I have a motion to accept the revised plan?
A motion.
Second,
Second,
Okay,
thank you.
all right, just to be sure, Robin, so moved,
Yep.
okay,
And Walter seconded.
okay.
All right, roll call vote. Louise,
Aye,
Robin,
Aye.
Walter, Holly. Oh, we missed that, Holly.
Sorry.
Carolyn, I. All right, guys.
All right.
Well, that worked out wonderful. And so I will put together the order of conditions. I have to do the run around town to get signatures. So it will probably be at least a week.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
fine. Yep,
All
Thank
right.
you.
and
Thank
then
you.
Neil records it, right, Neil, correct, Neil?
Yep. Yeah. I assume the, excuse me, the address to mail the original to is on the NOI. Or is the address that's
So-
on the NOI.
Yeah, so use the one in the title block, 106 Forest Ave. So in the title block of the plan, MCN Realty, 106 Forest
Yep.
Ave in Hudson is good. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you all very much.
All right, guys, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Yes, Louise?
oh, could I have the information on the plan, so it was prepared by,
Yeah, I just closed it. All right, hold on. No, that's all right. I'll find it again and open it. Hold on.
oh, but you can email it to me.
Oh, Savannah's teaching me tricks. There we go. Ah, she's good. Okay. So it was prepared by Robert J. Parenti.
Okay,
For MCN Mary Charles Nancy Realty LLC.
okay, can you repeat that?
MCN Realty
LLC. Right, okay.
LLC. Yep,
July
else?
21st,
July 21st.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Savannah, that was that painless.
Yeah, maybe Savannah would like to do the minutes sometime.
I don't know. I think she'd have to become a member, and I'm not sure that's on the
Not in the cards right
that's
now,
not in the
but thank
cards.
you.
All right, so let's talk all things Highland Ridge. First, Holly, let's start with you and your work with trying to get the trails sorted so that we can get the conservation restriction finished.
Right, so I met with Steve Acasa last 2 Wednesdays ago, and we told him where the existing trail was and how it was blocked by the development. He agreed to rework another entrance into the part that goes from the entryway to the development. It goes down to, if you're going into the development, it goes down left towards the wells. He knows about that trail. He said he would make new access to that. And then I told him about how we needed to link up the trails that were on the other side of the property that were impeded by the development. And we gave him the GPS coordinates. We walked the trail with him and we had tied off every line of sight ribbons to show where the trail goes, that circumvents the property that connects to the other existing trails. So he's aware. I talked to other people at the development and I showed them again where they were, and they said, yep, we know we're probably going to be the ones doing the work. So I think we're good. He did contact my husband because he was having a hard time with the GPS coordinates and trying to figure out where they were on the map, but I think he's good now. So that's where that stands.
Okay, so,
but again, it's work that he needs to do that he hasn't done yet, but he's aware of what has to happen.
sure, but what we really need is it mapped out and as included in with the documents for the conservation restriction.
Okay.
So, but if he has the information, it's the ball's in their court. They're not going to get occupancy permits until the CR is done and recorded. So that, I feel like we've now done what we've said we would do
Yes.
to help facilitate that.
Yes, and if he needs anything, he knows how to contact myself and my husband, which he did once before, and my husband gave him what he needed, and we haven't heard since. So we're assuming that all is well, but there's a lot of stuff he knows he needs to do.
Yep. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you very much for being the point person on that, and we'll just keep on it. Excellent. I have received, Pat has been monitoring the site, but he hasn't really been sending reports. So I sent him, I need those reports email. And I got some, so everything looks good. He, he continues to have nothing but good things to say about the way that site is managed from a conservation standpoint. They have done some tree clearing for a retention pond that is going in the woods. I believe it's to the southwest of the development. Kind of backs up to the Lowe's property. They've done some tree clearing back there. He has, even though it's not in the plans, he's discussed with the site contractor about putting some silt fencing on the downhill side of that clearing, and they've agreed. And yeah, he seems pretty happy with the way things are going there. So that's kind of all I have. Mary Porter, I noticed that you're in the audience. Robin, can you allow her to speak? Mary, you have to unmute. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm on there. Yeah. I
Yeah.
just,
Yep.
yeah, I'm on I've been listening to tonight's meeting because I spoke with Louise this morning and she mentioned that Highland Ridge would be discussed. And I have not yet to talk directly with you, Holly, on what you've seen, but I'm on the south end of all this, and I don't know Patrick Arner, I don't know his work, but let me tell you, I've hiked there a couple of Sundays, and the silt fences, the silt fences were a mess. You know, there's runoff along that steep ridge on the south side. So, and then as you go over to the road that was cut down and leads to the two wells, all of that area is very close to the Lowe's property. It's close to the Wheeler property, the stone line. And so the clear cutting that's gone on down there is there's just a couple rows of trees, maybe 100 feet to the, if that, to the Lowe's property. Same thing with the stone fence with Buddy Wheeler's property. So I don't understand why so much clear cutting was done. And from the maps, all of that is supposed to be conservation restriction parcel. Working from memory, I don't have the map in front of me, but there was, there's parcels B, C, and D. I think they're building on C, and B and D are the conservation restriction parcels.
With some exclusions in those, but yes.
Right. So John Aney and I had some email before he stepped down, and he said, well, work is permitted within 200 feet of the wellhead, but I can assure you the clear cutting of the trees is well beyond 200 feet from the from the wellheads. So I don't know. I don't know why something isn't being done about this. And let me shift a bit to the other observations I've made, which is the trail that goes up the steep side. When you go out the back of Wheeler's garage there on Carter Street and head up the hill, across the railroad track and go up the hill, the trail that cuts off to the left takes you over to the wells in the back of the Lowe's property. The one that heads to the right goes up the very steep slope that ends near where they've built a couple of model duplexes. And I observed something in 20 years of using that trail that I've never seen, which is water running like a river down the trail. And the other observation about that development and water management on that slope is that last summer, I've spoken with Brian Clemmer, who's operating Wheeler's garage. Last summer, his garage flooded. And this is after Vanacosta clear cut at the top of the hill, clear cut the trees, the 29 acres, whatever it is, that parcel. So my time of walking the rail, the abandoned rail line there and the trails, I've never seen flooding in that area. So, and Brian said that he cleaned out the old railroad basin and ditch so that the water would drain and not come into his garage. He said the water extended along the tracks past the Sean Reagan, Heather Simpson's house, almost to my house, my backyard, which is quite a distance. So what we're seeing on that slope is water runoff, not recharge. And, you know, it's within what conservation does and what the help me out, Carolyn, what was it that I was looking at? There was a Form 5, is it the notice of intent for this development?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And one of the areas of interest checked off is water management, you know, this water recharge sort of thing. So I think the activities have caused a real change in water resources on this hillside. My concern is I've got a well. Everybody who lives at the bottom of the hill here has a well. And this will affect, I believe, how our wells operate, particularly when you consider that the two wells for this development are located just off the corner of the Lowe's property. So very close to the railroad tracks, close to these other wells. And they're permitted to pump, you know, just under 10,000 gallons a day. I have to question whether there's available water to pump that quantity. So, you know, this may not be an issue for Conservation Commission, but I do think you have something to say about it. And I'm pretty disappointed that the clear cutting was done beyond where the retention pond is marked on the plan, on site plan, well beyond it. And well beyond the 200-foot radius of the well. So that's happening on what is designated as conservation restriction parcel. So you know, I don't know what you're getting from your consultant here, Patrick, but what he's saying is not consistent with my observations. And I did send over, I don't know if everybody on the commission has seen the photos I sent over, and it may not be clear what's in the photos, but I'm happy to talk to individuals or people collectively and explain what I've observed. And I will go up and hike again this Sunday. I've been out of town, so I didn't go the last 2 Sundays, but I'll go up this Sunday and take a look.
Carolyn,
Oh, I was
Yeah.
going to say, oh, really quick,
Okay,
Mary,
all
I'd
right.
be more than happy to walk with you on Sunday. I do know, I remember I attended the hearing with Chris Slade when this project was first presented. And my biggest concern was, again, water management, what's going to happen? And they assured me that no water that's going in or out is going to change once we do this development, that we will guarantee that will not be an issue. So if I have just as much concerns as you do on this too, because I also kind of use the trails and very familiar with the area. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, when I met with Stephen Acasa, we just worked on the trails on the other side of the area, because he's told me, he's like, oh, because the trails in that area are pretty distinguishable and easy to see. I just wanted him to see the other areas that he needed to work on. So yeah, I'd be more than happy to walk with you on Sunday. So
Sure, yeah, that would be great, Holly. And I'd be curious about the trails on the north side. I did hike those a little bit over the years, and sometimes exited down around what was the Silver Buffalo. One of the trails went back that way, so I'd often loop around, but I didn't do yeah.
Yeah, they're gorgeous trails back there, and they also give access to, and that's how I get to access the other areas of Berlin conservation land and get to the sand pits. So to me, they're vital trails that I love, and I want to be able to access them again. I think it's good for just everybody to have access to, because it is a nice little network. So I have a very vested interest in that.
Yeah, and I you know, this business on the wells is a recent awareness of mine, because I had assumed, when I was aware of Chris Slade's activities years ago, I always thought that the wells and the septic that he was starting to work on, I thought they were both at the top of the hill, kind of in the northwest side.
Yes,
And
that's where they were, and that's what he did. He built that himself. He did the septic and that part up higher on his own time and his own dime. And I watched him doing that through the years.
But I had assumed the wells were up in that general vicinity, and I was quite surprised to see how close they are to the homes at the bottom of the hill, the existing wells. They really are very close.
Yeah, I wasn't, yeah.
And Lowe's well, you know, there was a test run, and Brian and Felicia Lowe's well was damaged. It, you know, it brought silt in when they turned on the development wells. They did some sort of pump test with it. So there is it's documented that the well at Brian and Felicia Lowe's house is going to be affected when the development kicks, when they start pumping out of the development wells. So, and again, I don't know how much of this is within the jurisdiction of Conservation Commission, but whatever we can do as town representatives, I'd like to see us do. And I do believe one of the objectives on the notice of intent concerns this groundwater resource. And then, you know, in terms of cutting off the trails with the development, that was a deer run. That trail that went up past Lowe's where the wells are now.
I know, that's a very important trail, and it's kind of, I noticed the difference in what was going on with the deer behind us too. And I mentioned that to Stephen Acasa. He's aware, and then I said, what's going to happen now? And he's like, oh, they're just going to run down the middle of development.
Well, no, I don't think so.
Right, I know, because I did.
No, they're going to eat all the flowers in the development at night is what they're going to do.
Well, guys, I can tell you, yeah, I saw a mountain lion, okay, at that trail years ago. so the wildlife corridor there has been significantly disrupted with this. And unfortunately, when Chris Slade was doing a lot of his meetings, I was working full-time and out of town quite a bit, actually out of the country quite a bit. And so I missed the critical meetings, but it's a longstanding concern. And again, my point in talking tonight is to say whatever we can do here to limit, to constrain how much of that hilltop stays impervious, I'd like to see us do. And I'm also very, very concerned about the quantity of water available, both for the potential new residents at the top of the hill, as well as existing residents at the bottom.
Yeah, as far as water quantity goes, us as the local conservation commission, we don't really have much. We don't really have much that we can do about any of that. The wells as they are were overseen by, were approved by DEP as a, oh, what do they call it?
Connor, it's a community well. I've run it down with her. I've got all the documents and the phone and everything. You know what, Carolyn, what is in our hands here in Conservation Commission is that clear cutting on the conservation restricted parcel, which Vinacosta has been slow to negotiate. And that really should have been run through you guys, I think, before that happened.
Right. So the CR isn't actually in place. It does, I would have to find out exactly what footing we have with this, because I haven't actually encountered this. They do a baseline report before anything is done, and then all things are measured off of that. I'm not entirely sure that tree cutting for utilities, well, actually, I know tree cutting for utilities is not restricted.
Yeah, let me state again, this is beyond the 200-foot radius of the well beyond it, a very big area. And I've seen the site plan for the detention pond, I think it was called.
Yep.
And things aren't matching up, Carolyn. They're not matching up.
Yeah, and I'm just saying they are allowed to cut trees for utilities, and the trees will grow back.
Carolyn, what I'm hearing Mary say is that it isn't for utilities. It's beyond the utilities.
Right.
I would be available tomorrow after 2 PM or Friday morning to take a look at that, but I wouldn't want to look at it until I have a plan in front of me. I've got to have the plan in front of me, see what's going on, and take a look at it.
Walter, I could send you, I think I've got a copy of the drainage plan. I'll take a look and see if I can get it for you.
I definitely do. I can send it. And I could, I'm just trying to make sure that this is actually true. I believe that I could go to tomorrow afternoon after 3:30. Walter, if you wanted to wait a little bit longer.
All right. Supposed to be, we'll probably get some good rain tomorrow, so we can see what the water's doing, where the runoff is.
Right.
Well, Brian Clemmer, it hasn't flooded for Brian Clemmer since he cleaned out the basin and the ditch. So the railroad drain is working.
Yeah, that's good. The reality is yes, the water flow is going to change, especially during construction. It's hard to tell what's going to happen once everything's done. You know, I mean, I live right behind Highland Commons. I can see Cabela's from my bed, you know, and when all of that was going on, it was terrible. I couldn't open my windows in the summer because of all the dust and rock crap that was in the air from all the construction and the digging and the breaking of rocks and everything. And I mean, living through the construction of a large site is not fun.
Carolyn, that's not my concern. My concern is long-term water supply.
Sure.
My concern is we have a developer here that just doesn't care. And I think that Highland Commons folks were responsive in ways that we're not getting here.
I would
Um,
definitely agree with that statement.
And so to the extent that there's something we can do, I think this is a case where we want to do it. It isn't just that it's in my backyard. You know, I'm in a butter only because I'm in that 300-foot, whatever it is. The railroad is the abutter, but the railroad piece is so narrow that I also qualify as an abutter for, I guess, for our zoning notice requirements and so on.
Right.
But, and you know, in the community well, there's no requirement to post to abutters for a community well. You have to get into the public water supply before you post for abutters. So there was nobody living at the bottom of the hill was advised of what was going on when Chris Slade was developing those wells.
Right.
And they were being permitted.
Right. What did the person that you talked to at DEP say about your concern about future amount of water availability?
She didn't have a lot of promise, Susan O'Connor, for abutters. She said you kind of had to go in and run an impact test when the permitting process was ongoing. But I'm going to run that down elsewhere. I'm going to run that question down elsewhere because I think it's a very important question. And again, I'll say it isn't just for us, people who are existing residents in the area. It's also about the people that would be living in the proposed 66 units. And the reason I view it as a permanent problem, they clear cut the top of the hill because it's convenient for construction, I assume, and for the way they were going to do the construction. But the senior overlay district zoning requires open common space. And I don't know where I don't see that in any of the plans for this development. So where do you put in the trees and the vegetation so that recharge begins to become viable again? There's an awful lot of impervious surface planned for the top of that hill. And I don't know how you repair the recharge problem that recharge has been significantly altered since the 2020 cutting of the trees. So how do you repair that? I don't know, unless you leave a lot of green space on the top of the hill, which doesn't seem to be in Denicosa's plans.
Correct. I don't think they were in any of the plans.
Well,
Well,
maybe connecting up trails, maybe connecting up the north and the south trails would help a little bit, but it's there it is. There's the concerns.
Yeah, I just, and you and I spoke on the phone.
Yep.
And I'm just not, and as we discussed before, it's much easier to address these things before the permitting happens. And then unfortunately, and I could be wrong about this, but my feeling is that since it's been permitted, unless something does go wrong, it's kind of the way it is. If so, it's and unless your well does run dry, or unless the people at the top of the hill don't have water, there's no way to do anything about the possibility that maybe it'll happen.
Carolyn,
Yeah,
I don't think the well and water supply is under our jurisdiction.
I agree.
Let's stick with the wetlands, the runoff, the hay bales and that type of stuff. And
Yep.
Well, the silt is running down the hill, Walter. So.
Well, that's what we're concerned about. You're right.
Right.
So
Right.
we'll go and look at it. We'll send me, if you can, send me the plan. I would like to see the overall plan, and then we'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
right.
I have a drainage plan, and I think somewhere in my stuff I have, and if you're interested, I do have the permit details on the well, because O'Connor sent that. It's public, but it isn't posted online, so she needed to send it to me. But I'll dust off what I have. I think I don't know who to send it. Just send it to Conservation, Carolyn. Will you?
Yeah, and I'll
Yeah.
disseminate it. Yes.
They probably somewhere have your address, Walter, but I don't know. So,
Yeah, I'll send the picture stuff because that's the drawings, because those are helpful.
Yep.
And in looking at them, the 4 parcels that were part of Chris Slade's development here, parcel A is this little sliver that he deeded over to Brian and Felicia Lowe. And I forgetting what that was all about, but it did something with their lot that made it, took care of some issue that both Chris and the Lowe's had. And so you see that's a tiny little parcel A, and then it's parcel B, C, and D when you look at the map of the overall development. So I'll send them. And I appreciate it. I appreciate that you're willing to go out and take a look at it.
Definitely. I've been meaning to for a while. I was down for about 2 weeks with my sinus infection. And
I remember you were just starting with that when I
oh,
talked to you.
it was bad. It was bad for like 2 weeks. It was unbelievable. I've never had that happen like that. But I am finally, I had to mow the lawn with my N95 mask the other day. I have to say, I was glad I owned it.
I've got a friend with asthma and allergies, and he has always mowed with an N95 mask. In fact, he was one of the few people that had them when the pandemic started, because he keeps a supply around.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking at the notice of intent, order of conditions, Form 5, and under the Wetlands Protection Act findings, there's 2 things checked off: private water supply and groundwater supply. So in fact, with the Wetlands Protection Act, there is some jurisdiction over those areas. It's right on the first page of the form. I'm looking at the order of conditions for Chris Slade, the July 2018 orders of conditions. So again, I don't know what can be done. This may be a question that hasn't come up often, but there it is.
Carolyn, are we going to have an executive session tonight? Is that scheduled?
Not tonight,
Okay.
but we can schedule one for the next meeting if we would like.
Okay. We got a few other items on the agenda here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put my hand down and let you guys be in peace. But I'll get an email out to you.
All right. All right. Well,
beforehand. Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for coming, Mary.
You're welcome.
All right. And Walter, I just found the drainage plan. I'll actually send it to everybody so everyone has it. Oh. Holly, Robin. All right. Holly, are you around tomorrow afternoon?
I have something in the afternoon between 3 and 5. So
okay, yeah.
No.
That's fine. Actually, no, we wouldn't have a quorum, but so Walter, you and I'll go.
Mm-hmm. What time? 3:30?
3:30.
Okay. Where will we meet?
Do you want to meet at the site or do you want to meet at the general store?
How about Mary's house?
All right.
Sure.
All right. Mary, what house number are you?
Number 8. It's a yellow house just before the railroad track.
Okay.
Just before the railroad, cut into that parking lot right there.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I know approximately where you are, but I don't want to go into the wrong person's yard.
No, it's okay. There's actually the easiest hiking access is from Wheeler's Garage. To go up Harris Road and go right on the tracks, and then that trail going up is immediately to your left. So it's directly behind the Wheeler's Garage. But you're welcome to come into my driveway and walk down to the tracks, and then you go left over to the trail. Either way, and the big traffic control sign that the town of Berlin has is now parked in that little triangular lot where the train Walter. So there's just before the tracks, they have the sign set up so that the truck traffic to the construction site, they're just keeping people aware of their speed. We had log trucks coming down 40 miles an hour down that hill last summer. So, it's been pretty awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I like when Cabela's gets deliveries at midnight.
Yeah.
That's a blast.
All right.
Or even better when they're testing out their, I don't know, every once in a while they test out like equipment back there and it's just so loud. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
All right. I'm heading
All right.
off. Thank you,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks, Mary.
All right. See you around.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, and I think we did a great job on the agenda. We moved right through it.
I just
Anybody?
requested from Leanne an executive session after the September 1st meeting.
Perfect. Thank you. So we will have that. Anybody have anything else? I'm done.
You have
I'm
an
done.
item under land management. Is that-
Well, kind of. Yes, you're right. I do have that there. I emailed Dan Stimson to just kind of circle back about what we had talked about and what so I guess let me back up a little bit. Walter and I and Robin for a little bit went out with Dan and a volunteer, an SVT volunteer whose name is Jim something. Went out and looked at the 2 locations that they wanted to put bridges in. And we discussed, we told Dan why we were against putting it in the one place that we were against. And he agreed that if we didn't want it there, that we would find someplace else. And we talked about some different possibilities. But right now the brush was pretty heavy in there. So we're going to revisit that once the vegetation dies back some. The other location we all agreed to, and talked with Dan, I believe, and so I had emailed Dan to see if what I thought I remembered was correct, but Dan's on vacation this week, so I did not get an answer, but I believe he said that we might be able to split the cost, or so we don't have a final number, so I will just carry that over to the next agenda. So yes, it's there, but I don't really have anything. How's that?
Can I just ask something
Of course.
really quick? So I know this parcel of land again they're putting it up for sale again on Randall Road. It's about 80 acres that would, but the Chris Lades at the Highland Ridge project. And I didn't know if there was any way. I talked to that originally before I joined conservation. And
Why don't we talk about this land stuff and the possibility of what we want to buy in executive session? Robin was correct earlier when she said that.
Okay. Okay.
I think so, Madam Chairman.
Yes, especially if we wanted to talk any specifics.
I have something to tell you about that too, so.
Oh, well, great. I didn't know if that's something, that we had to talk about first before it goes to the executive session, but whatever. If it's something we could talk about, that would be great. Thank you.
All right. All right.
On a motion,
Yeah, I do.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Louise,
I,
Robin,
Aye.
Holly,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Carol, and I. All right, meeting adjourned at 8:48.
See you tomorrow.
Have a
at
great-
6:30.
All
Have a
right,
great night,
Walter,
everyone.
you
Yeah.
too. And have good luck taking your daughter to college.
Oh, thank you. Should be a nice long trip.
Where's she
Yeah,
going,
right.
Robin? Where you
University
think-
of Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.